Deep sea doesn't just create creatures, it creates weapons. For animals, nature has a simple rule: eat or be eaten. But while the surface of the ocean look like heaven, the deep is a different story. As soon as you leave the sunlight zone, the game changes. Down in the freezing dark, standard biology fail. The pressure is crushing and food is so rare that wasting energy on a chase is a death sentence. So evolution had to engineer new kind of soldiers. We're talking about glass squids with invisible skin, dragonfish with thermal vision, goblin shark with spring-loaded jaws. They aren't just animals, they're biological weapons. The deep sea isn't a habitat, it's a global war zone. Today, we're diving deep into the ocean to see why it turned creatures into weapons. In any war, the best armor isn't a thick shell or shield, but it's not being there at all. As we descend into the Twilight Zone, roughly 200 meters down, we enter a dangerous middle ground. There's still a faint amount of blue sunlight filtering through from the surface that create a massive tactical problem. If you have a body, you block light. If you block light, you create a silhouette. And if you create a silhouette, you're a target. So if you have 0 points in defense, you have no choice but to invest every single evolutionary point you have into stealth. This is the domain of the glass squid, from the family Crunchiidae. To the untrained eye, it looks like a stress ball that someone overflated, but to a predator, it's like a ghost. Its body is largely transparent, allowing light to pass through. The only opaque part of its body are its eye and digestive gland. To hide them, it uses counter-illumination, carefully adjusting the light-producing organs under its eye, called photophores, to glow at the same brightness as the water above. So to any predator looking up for a tasty squid snack, it's completely invisible. But if that fails, the squid has a panic button. It can rapidly expand the pigment sac on its skin, called chromatophores, to turn dark in an instant. Some species take this even further, actually injecting ink in their own body tissues to turn pitch black, disappearing into the darkness before the predator can strike. While total invisibility keeps you safe, it's purely defensive. You're hiding and hoping nobody bumps into you. But to actually win the war, you can't just hide. You need to see the enemy before they see you. This is where the Histiotuthis atropsis or strawberry squid changes the game. It looks like a floating ruby, but that deep red color is a survival tactic. Since red light is absorbed first in the deep sea, this squid appears completely black to the predator. It's a perfect camouflage. But while its body hide, its face is hunting. Look closely and you'll notice a bizarre asymmetry. One eye is massive, bulbous and yellow, the other is tiny and blue. For 150 years, this confused biologists, until a 2017 study revealed that it isn't a deformity, it's highly specialized adaptation. The big yellow eye looks up. It acts as a specialized filter that blocks out the ocean's blue light to spot prey, including the transparent one. The tiny blue eye looks down. It stares into the darkness, looking for tiny flashes of bioluminescence from predators trying to sneak up from below. To make this work, the squid swim at a permanent tilted angle, using one eye to hunt its dinner and other to make sure it doesn't become dinner. But invisibility won't save you from starvation. Instead of wasting energy on the hunt, the smartest weapons use deception to trick prey into swimming straight into their mouths. And no one does it better than the deep sea anglerfish, scientifically known as the Ceratoidae. It stole the limelight back in Jan 2025 when one of its species swam to the surface and shocked the internet. With massive inward pointing teeth and jaws that can stretch wide enough to swallow prey twice its size, it's already built to kill. But its primary weapon is the glowing lure on its head called the asca, which uses bioluminescent bacteria to produce light. It is essentially a fishing rod with a built-in LED. What makes its deception even stronger is that asca contain reflective tissues that direct light away from the anglerfish's body, so the prey sees the tempting bait but never the monster holding it. Once a curious fish gets close enough, it snaps open its jaws and swallow it before the fish even realizes that it has made a huge mistake. However, the anglerfish is passive. It has to wait for a victim. Our next soldier take a more active approach. Meet the deep sea dragonfish. It belongs to the family Stomiidae, and like the anglerfish, it's an ambush predator with a terrifying set of teeth and a glowing lure attached to the chin called barbel to attract prey. But what truly sets it apart from almost every other creature in the deep sea is its ability to see and emit red light. Species like Aristostomius and Cristomius have a red light emitting photophores under their eyes. Since red light does not penetrate the deep sea, Most animals never evolved to see it. To them, red light is just invisible. The dragonfish uses this as a secret weapon to inspect and target its victim while remaining completely invisible itself. So it's like a hidden sniper. It can shine a red spotlight on you and you physically cannot see it. It can inspect you, target you and eat you without you even knowing you were being watched. In terms of weaponry, this is basically cheating. Passive traps have a weakness. They require patience. If food doesn't swim by, you starve. Sometimes the most effective survival strategy is simply to be faster than the prey nervous system can react. This is where speed dominates the battlefield. At first glance, Mitscarina ostoni or the Goblin Shark looks almost pathetic. It's soft, flabby and swims with a sluggish energy that suggests it isn't a threat. But that appearance is a lie. It's a sole living fossil of the Miscarindae lineage that has been hunting in the deep for 125 million years, long before T-Rex even existed, and it's still here today. Its first weapon is that strange blade-like snout. It is packed with ampullae of Horonzini, which are specialized electroreceptors, allowing it to detect a fish heartbeat in total darkness. But its main weapon is the spring-loaded jaw. Its jaws are not fused into its skull like yours or mine. They are held back by elastic ligaments under extreme tension, like a rubber band pulled to its breaking point. When a fish drifts too close thinking it's just a harmless and sluggish shark, the Goblin Shark releases the tension. The jaws shoot out of its face at a speed of 3.14 meters per second. That is faster than a cobra can strike. While the Goblin Shark is a sniper, the Dosidicus gigas or Humboldt Squid is a full-scale riot. These highly intelligent hunters swarm in pack of hundreds, flashing red and white colors to coordinate their attack, growing up to 6.5 feet long and weighing 100 pounds. They're built for violence, but their true weapon is their beak. In 2009, National Geographic tested this by placing a Kevlar pressure plate in Humboldt Squid mouth. The squid snapped the bulletproof material in a single bite, registering over 1,000 pounds of force, making its bite stronger than the bite of a hyena. Mexican fishermen call them Diablo Rojo, meaning the Red Sea Devil, because of their aggressive nature and long-standing tale of attacks on fishermen. And these are not just stories. Multiple attacks on humans have been documented, including one featured in Animal Planet, where Divers Court Castle was repeatedly attacked by Humboldt Squids, causing a dislocated arm, a broken wrist and severe air damage. The most disturbing part is how they treat each other. Humboldt squids are cannibals by default, preying on the weakest members of their species. This behavior is so common that marine biologist Unai Marqueda found that 25% of the squid stomachs examined contain the remains of other Humboldt squids. Speed and numbers have a limit. Aggression might work on fish, but it's useless against a 50-ton predator. To survive a monster like that, you don't need to be fast, you need to be massive. This brings us to the heavy artillery. Architeuthis dux, aka the giant squid, and Misanocheuthis, aka the colossal squid. I'm sorry, it's really hard to pronounce these names. These are the two largest invertebrates in the ocean. For centuries, they were the fuel of the sailor's nightmare, inspiring the legend of Kraken, a beast capable of dragging entire ships down into the ocean. Both of them are products of the deep sea gigantism. The freezing cold, crushing pressure, and lack of food force them to grow to immense sizes just to survive. But while they're both giants, they build their weapons very differently. Giant squid choose the fighter jet build, stretching up to 43 feet long. It is built for agility, as confirmed by research in 2012. It is an active hunter. It uses long feeding tentacles lined with sharp toothed suckers and a powerful beak to slice through prey. The colossal squid choose the tank build. It's shorter, around 32 feet, but it's significantly heavier, wider and more muscular. It is armed with rotating hooks instead of suckers. These hooks can spin 360 degrees, designed to dig into the flesh and hold it in place while it's being eaten. Despite their differences, they share the same enemy, the sperm whale. These whales dive thousands of meters deep using biological sonar to hunt them. To survive, these squids evolved the largest eyes in the animal kingdom, detecting the whale's movement from 120 meters away. When they collide, it's a violent turf war. The whale bites and the squid fight back, wrapping its tentacle around the whale to suffocate it. While the whale usually wins, the squid leave deep scars on the whale body that it carries for life. We know this massacre happens because of what is left behind. Scientists frequently find piles of undigested squid beaks inside sperm whale stomach. In the Antarctic, colossal squid represents 77% of the biomass consumed by sperm whale, and globally it is estimated that sperm whales hunt down between 4.4 million and 131 million giant squids every single year. This reveals something very important. These squids aren't rare, they're just very good at hiding. In fact, they're so elusive that it wasn't until March 2025 that we finally saw a colossal squid in its natural habitat for the first time, and even that was just a juvenile. We are yet to see a full-grown adult colossal squid alive. But being massive has a problem: starvation. As you go deeper past where these titan hunts, energy becomes so scarce that fighting or even moving become a luxury you cannot afford. At the very bottom of the world, the ultimate weapon isn't strength, but patience. Meet the Vampiroteuthis infernalis, the vampire squid, a name that sounds like the final boss of the ocean. But in 2012, researchers from Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute discovered the embarrassing truth. It isn't a predator, it eats literal garbage drifting from above, called marine snow. It is a 12-inch living fossil that thrives in the oxygen minimum zone, a place where most predators suffocate. So it built its home in a place where nobody wants to live, making it a pacifist in the war zone. Its weapon is bluff. When threatened, it flips itself upside down, creating a pineapple pose to look dangerous and inedible. If the threat continues, the tip of its arm begins to strobe with blue-green light, and if all else fail, it releases a cloud of glowing, sticky bioluminescent mucus that distract the predator by glowing up for 10 minutes, giving the squid enough time to escape. But scaring a predator takes effort. When you reach bottom of ocean, the Hadal Zone, the best survival strategy is simply to exist. This brings us to the ghost story of the ocean, the Bigfin Squid or Magnapina. This creature looks so eerie that when pathologist Michel Vacchione at the Smithsonian saw its footage for the first time, he jumped out of his chair and started yelling. It drifts like a ghostly puppet using long, spaghetti-like appendages with sharp, elbow-like bends. Scientists believe these elbows prevent the arms from tangling, allowing the creature to drape itself gracefully in the void. We have no idea how it actually hunts, but scientists believe it turns the ocean into a spider web, waiting passively for prey to get trapped into its sticky tentacles. We hardly know anything about them. In the last 140 years, we have seen them only 55 times. No adult has ever been caught. The closest we can get for now is the grainy footage captured by remotely operated vehicles that are brief windows into the world we can barely access. Bigfin Squid is a reminder that ocean still belong to the unknown. It covers 71% of our planet, yet we have only discovered 10% of marine life. But this is changing fast. We are living through a golden age of exploration. In 2025 alone, we have found 866 new species, and as recently as Feb 2026, we have added 28 more to the list. It forces us to wonder, if we're finding this much now, what else is hiding in the dark? With submarines creating massive amount of noise and light, it is entirely possible that larger, smarter creatures are simply avoiding us, seeing us before we ever see them. There's plenty more to discover. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe to stay updated. Thanks for watching.